Hey guys, what's up? Pastor Jay here, and I'm excited that you are tuning into this video because what that means is that you have chosen to be a part of our volunteer team at Firehouse Church, more specifically our hospitality team. And I just want to say thank you for having a heart and a passion to serve and help us expand the kingdom. I want to make you aware that the hospitality team is a very important area of ministry. A lot of people don't realize how important the hospitality ministry is, but it's actually very important because there are studies and statistics out there that show that a first time guest will either consciously or subconsciously make a decision of whether they will ever come back to that church within the first 10 minutes of them being there. That's probably before the worship, probably before the preached word. They're going to make a decision based off of them feeling loved and welcomed. And so it's important to us to make sure that all of our first time guests feel like they're VIP, that they're very important people, that we don't cast a judging glance at them, that we make sure that we do our best to welcome them the best way that we can, and for it to be a genuine welcoming. What I want you to know is there's three roles of our hospitality team. There's the prep team, there's the greeters, and there's the guest services. I want to go over each of these roles and break down each of these roles and give you the guidelines for each of these roles. And we're going to start with the prep team. What I want you to know is that the goal of the prep team is to make sure that all aspects of the facility and the property are ready for the service. A lot of people don't realize, but just the presentation, the way that things look when people come is important. And so it's kind of like it's like a first impression type thing, the signage, all that type stuff. So this is kind of the goal of the prep team. What we want you, if you're part of the prep team, then you should arrive at the church no later than 10 a.m. to begin setting things up and preparing things for service on the day that you are to serve. Number one, the prep team should make sure that the flags are put out at the right location and that the flags are pulled straight so that no preventable wrinkles appear. The flags are the banner flags that we hang out front. We have two of them. They normally go on each side of the driveway out at the front of the church. And what we want you to do, we want you to kind of put them on an angle, because if you put them on an angle, if the wind's blowing or something, it kind of weighs them to where they're leaning towards the road. So put them at a slight angle towards the road, and then make sure that the bottom part is pulled down as to no preventable wrinkles appear with those signs. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that all road signs and first-time guest signs should be put in their rightful locations as well. Now, what we do is we have some signs that says like Firehouse Church ahead, Firehouse Church turn here, and Firehouse Church first-time guest parking. And on the 4-lane, before you turn on to Seaboard Street, we have each of those. We have two signs coming from each direction, coming like back from Walmart or from the downtown area, depending on which side you're coming in from, signs to kind of give a person the idea of where to go for the church. So if you were to coming from Walmart, there's two signs. There's going to be a Firehouse Church ahead sign, which should be placed in the grassy area beside the sidewalk in front of the old Burger King. And then the next sign that says Firehouse Church turn here should be kind of right before Seaboard Street in the grassy area on the sidewalk in front of Dairy Queen. Now, if you're coming from downtown, the Firehouse Church turn up ahead sign should be in the grassy area by the sidewalk, in front of the vacant lot between Woodson Florist and Zaxby's. And then the turn here sign should be in front of the old Dollar General space in the grassy area by the sidewalk. Now, as they come into the parking lot, if you're looking at the building from the front to the right, we have a lane of parking spaces beside the building. The three parking spaces immediately as you to the right of the building, those first three right there, in front of those in that little grass area, you should put the first-time guest parking signs in the ground there. So that would be our outdoor signage. The third thing you're to do is to make sure all the bathrooms are checked, to make sure they're properly stocked with paper towels, hand soap, toilet paper, etc. We don't want someone to come to the church and go to the bathroom and there not be any toilet paper, or there not be any paper towels, or there not be any hand soap. So every Sunday we want to make sure that all 4 bathrooms are properly stocked. Number 4, make sure the coffee station is cleaned, properly stocked with cups, coffee, sugar, creamer, stirs, and the top coffee cup tops. So we want to make sure the coffee area is clean as well. We don't want it to look dirty or filthy or anything of that nature. I will say that we do have, each month there's someone assigned to cleaning the church. And the bathroom should be stocked and the coffee area should be cleaned before you come in. This is just kind of a second layer to make sure that those things are done and in place right before service to make sure nothing was missed, so to speak. Number 5, make sure all offering envelopes are placed on every other seat in the sanctuary nicely. Try to make sure that they're all facing the same direction, turned the same way. Every other seat, just place an offering envelope there. It is idea that everything is in place and be ready. That's the signs, the coffee station, the envelopes, the bathroom is taken care of by 10:15, no later than 10:15, and definitely no later than 10:20. So if you have to come a little earlier than 10 o'clock to get those things done, that's up to you. Again, you don't have to be there until 10. Just we want to make sure that everything's in place by 10:15, no later than 10:20. After service, the prep team members need to bring in all the flags and signage. So all the signs out near the roads, the first-time guests parking signs, the flags, those signs need to come in. And then after that, you're free to go. You don't have to worry about the bathrooms. You don't have to worry about the coffee station. Just take care of the signs and you're free to go. So that pretty much covers and sums up for our prep team ministry, if that's the area that you're diving into. The next area or the next role is our greeter or our door greeter. Or the goal of the greeter is to make sure that each attendee, and especially first-time guest, receives a warm welcome. The greeter should arrive no later than 10:15 a.m., so you can arrive a little later than the prep team. But you should also stay after service to greet people as they leave as well. So if you're scheduled to greet, be there at 10:15 and then remain after service for a little bit to greet people as they're leaving. Number 1, a few things we want to know for the greeter guidelines is, number 1, every greeter should practice good hygiene. In other words, we don't want someone coming in being a greeter and just say we don't want someone to you to be speaking with someone and they smell bad breath or something of that nature. We want to be dressed modestly, and we want to have brushed our teeth that morning. We do have some mints over at the coffee station, so if you want to pop one of those in your mouth to help out, that would absolutely be okay. So we want to practice good hygiene. Secondly, the greeter should stand to one side of the door or the other and open the doors for guests as necessary or when necessary. So stand to one side or the other. Don't kind of block the doorway, but just stand to one side or the other and open the door as needed or as necessary. Or if you would like, open it for each and every person that you're able to. Number 3, the greeter should greet each person with a handshake and a genuine smile. So make sure every person that comes in that you're able to greet them, shake their hand. Hey, how are you doing? It's good to see you here today at Firehouse. Number 4, it is also the responsibility of the greeter to show guests where they might need to go, such as where to take their children for kids' church. And the idea is to actually walk them there. So let's say we got a first-time family coming in and they have some kids, and you just simply ask them, would your kids like to go to kids' church? And if they say yes, and you tell them, well, would you like me to show you there, or let me show you there, and walk with them. And then as you're walking with them back to kids' church, just try to carry on a casual conversation. Well, how did you hear about the church? And well, that's great. We just want you to feel at home and things of that nature. So just a nice, genuine, casual conversation to help them feel comfortable. Number 5, the greeter will need to remain in the foyer to greet people until 11:20 a.m. before they come and take their place in the sanctuary. We have some people that show up about 11:18. Most people don't show up after 11:20, so we would like for you to hang out in the foyer to greet people at least 20 minutes into service time. And then after that, you can take your place. After 11:20, you can take your place in the sanctuary. Number 6, the greeter or guest services, whichever. We'll go over guest services in a minute, but the greeter guest services should fill out the attendance sheet during the meet and greet time and service. So The time that, you know, either I or Pastor Nick comes up and says, we would like for everybody to shake hands, hug necks, things of that nature, that is the time for you to go and start counting heads in the main sanctuary, the nursery, and the kids' church. There is a actual count sheet behind the plugged-in desk in there every Sunday that should be filled out by either guest services or greeter and just placed back in there. That would be great and awesome. There are a few don'ts for greeters, which I'm going to share with you here. Number one, do not ask someone if this is their first time, because this can be very awkward. Say it's not their first time, but you weren't sure of that, and maybe you just joined the greeting team, but you know it wasn't their first time. What that could create is an idea of maybe they weren't noticed as the first time, and we don't want anyone to feel like they're unnoticed. So if you are unsure if that it is a first-time guest, just welcome to the Firehouse, shake their hands like you would everyone else, and just say, man, we're glad to have you this morning. And don't worry about the first-time guest packet, because what will happen is I will make an announcement in service and tell them that there's a packet available to them at Plugged In, and they could fill out the card then and go and put it in the box. So we will make an announcement that way. If anybody does get missed, we make sure that we cover and fill the gaps so that they have an opportunity to get a first-time guest packet. Now, if you know without a doubt it's a first-time guest, then we want to try to get that guest packet in their hand, you know, first thing or not, you know, as they approach and come in, you know, make sure they get a guest packet, but never ask someone if it's their first time. Number two, do not undergreet someone. As a greeter, it's your main responsibility to make people feel welcome. But if you're involved in a lengthy conversation with someone else in the church or another attendee, you may miss properly greeting someone, causing them to feel unnoticed or invisible. So we definitely don't want that to happen. You can carry that conversation on at a later time, but we definitely want to make sure our main focus on Sunday morning is first-time guests and visitors. So you can, if there's nobody flowing through the door, you know, you can have the conversation, but if they start flowing through the door, make sure we greet each and every person that walks through that door. The third thing is don't overgreet, because don't crowd guests with hugs and handshakes. For introverts, this could actually be as much as a turnoff as undergreeting someone. So we definitely want everyone to feel welcomed and greeted, but we also don't want to overcrowd someone with greeting as well. So that pretty much sums it up for our greeters. The next thing I want to talk about is guest services. Guest services is the person that would stand behind the plugged-in desk on any given Sunday that they are to serve or service that they're to serve. The goal of guest services or plugged in is to be much informed about the church so that it can relay information to guests when needed. So it's important for you to know as much about what's going on, about how the church functions and flows. If you don't know, just ask questions, ask me, ask Miss Leanne, ask one of the pastors, one of the staff members. We will be glad to inform you of something. Guest service volunteers, like greeters, should arrive no later than 10:15 a.m. and remain after service until guests have thinned out. So it's kind of the same guideline as being a greeter there. A few of the things for guest services. Number one, guest services should remain at the plugged-in desk until 11:20 a.m. Now, I will say this. If there is a greeter that is going to the back to show someone an area or to show them kids' church or whatever, then if you can slip away from the desk to help greet people as they're coming in, that would be great as well. But otherwise, you are to remain at the plugged-in desk until 11:20, and then either you or the greeter, you know, will count during the meet and greet time. Number two, guest services will be responsible for making sure each first-time guest gets a welcome packet, one per family. So again, if you're not sure if this is their first time, don't ask them, or don't just let it go, and then I'll make the announcement, or Pastor Nick will make the announcement later on in the service. But if you are for sure, then make sure they get that packet. Number three, guest services should make sure that new converts receive a Bible and or new converts gift. So if someone surrenders their life to Christ and you are aware of that, or I've made an announcement and they come forward and they say, I've surrendered my life to Christ, make sure they get a Bible. Sometimes we'll have a gift packet which includes a Bible and a book. Make sure you get that in their hands. Number four, guest services should be able to answer any questions about upcoming church events, and basically also about how to get involved in ministries, things of that nature. If you're not sure about something, then make sure you reach out to Miss Leanne, or have the greeter or someone else say, could you go get Miss Leanne for me? We want to make sure they leave with their question answered. If you can't answer it, then find someone who will be able to answer it to the best of their ability. Number 5, guest services may be required to help guests sign up for events and help with online church information and logins. We do have a online church software called Breeze that some people may want to account for to see their contributions or things of that nature. We're wanting our guest services to take control of helping them set up an account if they don't know how. They can do it on their own, or at least show them how. So and they would need to be informed about how to do it, or you could do it for them from guest services. What I'll probably do is later on create a video training you with that software as well. Number 6, guest services should follow the greeting guidelines for that of the greeter. So basically the things we went over for a greeter would apply for you as well. One of the last things in this video I want to talk about is the way we do scheduling. What we do right now, we have in our software a thing that sends an automated text message out. So when we put your name in the system to serve, whether it be prep, greeter, or guest services, what it does, we put you in the system, and then you'll receive a text 3 days prior to the day you're going to serve that you should RSVP. So you can click that I can make it Sunday, or you can click that I can't make it Sunday, or something to that nature. And if you decline being able to help, then that will be it, and it will send us an email and let us know that you can't make it. However, if you can, then 1 day prior to the event, it will send you another message, or if you didn't RSVP, it will send you a message, again, letting you know to serve that Sunday morning. So that if it was a Sunday morning, it would be a Saturday that you would get that message. You will also, if you receive email, should receive an email if your email is in our system, with like a monthly calendar. And you may also receive an email the 3-day. I'm not sure about that, but you should receive a monthly scheduling thing through email. And if you don't have email, you don't do text, then you can always pick up a monthly schedule at Plugged In. It should be available to you the last Sunday of the month before that you order for that month's schedule. So let's say if it's a February schedule, then the last Sunday in January, the paper schedule should be at Plugged In, and you could just go see who's at Plugged In, or look behind the Plugged In desk, and there should be a new schedule there somewhere for you. Other than that, I think that pretty much covers the basis of everything. If you have any questions, please see me, please see Mrs. Leanne. But again, I just want to thank you for serving. And I just want to pray with you and over you as well. And again, I just want to thank you. But Father, I just pray over the ones who are serving, wanting to serve, and going to serve at Firehouse, Lord, that you would bless them, that you would use them for your glory and your kingdom. In Jesus Christ's name, amen. Hey, we love you guys. God bless you. Thank you for serving.